Good afternoon, I'm Daphne Papadopoulou, and this is the main news in Greece on Monday. Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis is in New York this week to participate in the 80th high-level week of the United Nations General Assembly. Mitsotakis will have a series of contacts with heads of state, investors, representatives of organizations, and members of the Greek and Jewish communities in the US, as well as discussions with leading think tanks. He is slated to deliver a speech at the UN on Friday, in which he will underscore Greece's position as a pillar of stability in an unstable international or regional geopolitical environment, as well as referring the challenges and risks from Ukraine and the Middle East. He will also meet with UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres at the UN headquarters. On Tuesday, Mitsotakis will meet Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on the sidelines of the General Assembly. Expectations for the meeting are low, with the main aim seen as maintaining meaningful dialogue between the two sides. In other news, a trial that opened at a misdemeanor court of Iraklio, Crete, involving 105 defendants accused of declaring land that did not belong to them in 2019 and 2023 to illegally receive EU farm subsidies was postponed for March the 2nd. The defendants allegedly obtained aid of 10,000 to 15,000 euros per year from the Greek authority responsible for control and payment of the bloc's agricultural subsidies, known as OPEKEPE. The case is part of an ongoing investigation into a massive farm aid scam to defraud the European Union of hundreds of millions of euros. More than 1,000 suspects have been identified so far by the authorities in a probe launched by the European Public Prosecutor's Office, which was later expanded by Greek authorities. Now, a couple was arrested in northwestern Crete after the 2.5-month-old baby was found dead in its bed this morning, authorities said. Police were alerted at around 10 a.m. that an infant of Finnish tourists had died in the rented rooms they were staying in. A forensic doctor who arrived at the scene found the baby unconscious and determined that it had died of suffocation. The parents underwent alcohol and drug tests and were arrested on charges of manslaughter by negligence. And a 62-year-old woman from Viotia, central Greece, accused of secretly burying the body of her elderly mother after she died to continue to receive her pension and disability allowance, was released pending trial. Appearing before a prosecutor, she allegedly claimed that her mother died of natural causes in August 2023 and she buried her at a nearby stable. The defendant is facing charges of submitting false testimony while the investigation into the case continues. And a 4.8 magnitude earthquake struck Mount Athos in northern Greece in the early hours of Monday, but there are no reports of injuries or damage. The Athens Institute of Geodynamics said the quake hit at 4:20 a.m. local time, with its epicenter 11 kilometers northwest of Karies, the administrative capital of Mount Athos, at a depth of 12 kilometers. The tremor is the latest in an ongoing series of earthquakes that have rattled the peninsula since 2024. A magnitude 5.3 quake struck on June 7, causing damages in several monasteries. It was followed by a series of both undersea and land-based tremors. Efthymios Lekas, head of the country's earthquake planning and protection organization, described the tremor as a strange phenomenon, as this particular fault had not produced earthquakes before 2024, adding that scientists are monitoring its development. Mount Athos is a home to a 20 male-only centuries-old Christian Orthodox monastic communities. And that's all for today. Tune in again tomorrow for Greece's first English language news bulletin, and have a good afternoon.